It's the Western Nomad. We're exploring some rugged country in southwest Colorado. We're going to Lake City, Creede, Commodore Mine, Ute-Ulay Henson Mine, Highway 149, the Tack Mine, the Alpine Loop, and Lake San Cristobol. We're going to start it off in Lake City. I've never been here before, and just a real authentic rugged mountain town. When I was first driving in here, it was kind of unassuming, and then I quickly realized the main form of transportation out here is ATVs and Jeeps. So you know you're in the right place when you see all these ATVs running around. And the reason there's such a high concentration of ATVs and Jeeps and off-roaders here is because of the Alpine Loop, which is a world-renowned off-roading loop that connects Lake City, 𝐟𝐸, and Silverton, and we'll get more into that. But sit back and relax, because this is a really awesome section of Colorado. So it's kind of interesting. One of the first things I noticed here was like there's a crap load of Texans here, and you can see the license plates and just like the restaurants here. So I was kind of curious as to how like all these Texans found this little city in Colorado. So I asked around. Where are you moving from?
Well, actually, we relocated from Texas. We owned Kennedy Dry Goods down on Silver Street. My wife and I bought it 4 years ago. And so, we started vacationing here first, like almost a lot of people, I'm sure. And, kind of, wouldn't it be nice to live in Colorado out of the Texas heat, and although we've got plenty of heat here, too.
So what's with the Texas connection? There's the Texas, like, barbecue.
It is just people leaving the heat and humidity of Texas to come up to this quiet.
There's like 1,000 mountain towns in Colorado, though.
I don't know why it's this one, though. I don't know why, but you're right,
Must be a good place to live.
Everybody's a Texan here.
So the picture of that guy you just saw is Alfred Packer, and basically, and I thought the guy who I was talking to at North Face Lodge where I was staying, Hugh, he was telling me that this guy was a prospector, and apparently he took out like a bunch of Eastern tourists to see the mountains in like 1874, and it was a harsh winter, things got rough, and he had to resort to eating these poor Easterners. So, they weren't like back then. They're still not like now. I thought he was joking, but apparently this is a true story. I looked it up, so you'll see pictures and stories about this guy, Alfred Packer, basically being accountable. So, welcome to Colorado. We have weird, strange history like this. The more I go out to these remote mountain towns, the more I'm interested in the history and the people. So I take the time to get to know the people of the town. And the owner of the North Face Lodge, a guy by the name of Hugh Conway, was telling me about how FEMA had to come out roughly 6 years ago because a bunch of the avalanches were bringing in all this debris. And the fear was that that debris was going to get into the water source, clog up the dam, and basically flood the town. So I'm going to let Hugh talk about what happened when FEMA came here. I remember you talking on the phone how the Red Cross had to come out here and save everyone from a flood like a decade ago.
Well, it wasn't quite that long ago. That they didn't really have to save anybody, but that was the year. That was about 6 years ago.
6 years ago?
2019, I think. We had, I think it was between 102, 104 avalanches. We had a lot of snow, and that was a lot of that came in March, and all those avalanches pretty much happened in March, and they happened around the Alpine Loop, which forms the northern side of the Alpine Loop. The southern side of the loop really runs along the Lake Fork of the Gunnison River after it comes out of American Basin. But we've got 14,000 foot mountains around both of those waterways that meet here in town. And so the concern was all of the material that came off of those avalanches got stuck on the sides of the mountains. And so FEMA showed up here, filled up the hotel here, and they brought in a lot of their equipment, heavy trucks and trailers and so forth, and a bunch of folks that were normally firefighters with chainsaws, and they came in and cut up a lot of the material, tree trunks and so forth, and they carted it off, blew up a couple of old dams that had been there since the mining days. Because the fear was, as that material it melted, as the side of the mountain melted, a lot of that material is going to end up in the waterways and form unstable dams. And that had evidently happened back in the 20s or 30s here. The town had flooded due to some conditions like that. So we sandbagged the town, had meetings every week that April and May. And it was pretty miraculous. Actually, the thaw held off enough so that they could get a lot of the material out of here and mitigated, and it ended up being a pretty normal spring.
Very good.
Yeah.
Got lucky.
What's that?
Got lucky.
Yeah, we did get lucky.
So do most people come here for the Alpine Loop? Is that like the primary thing people do here?
I'd say it's one of the big things, but I mean, we get a lot of mountain climbers coming in.
Very nice.
And you can't get all the mountains in Colorado 14ers without getting the 5 that are here. So
what are the 5 14ers here again?
The 5 14ers are Sunshine, Red Cloud, which most people
I've heard
do.
of Red Cloud. That's
most of the time they do both of those on the same day. Handies, which is probably one of the easiest 14ers.
It's what I want to climb.
Yeah.
And I'll get halfway up maybe.
Well, it's beautiful. And also the hike is not that terribly long if you do the hike to the summit out of American Basin.
American Basin? Is that where I should be parking?
That's where you would park,
American
and then
Basin.
you'd hike up to the summit from there, and that's just a really beautiful place to hike.
Very good.
And then we've got 𝐿𝐾ompagre and Wetterhorn.
Okay.
So those are the 5.
Okay.
So this is Lake San Cristobol, the big lake in town, gorgeous alpine lake. I tried paddleboarding for the first time here, so that was good to get that all figured out. And you can see me here. I think this is after my excursion, getting a little muddy, but amazing place, as you can see, to paddleboard, kayak, whatever you want to do out here. So I'm guessing that's why they call it Lake City. There are multiple lakes in the city, but here we're in the Alpine Loop. This is why everyone comes. As you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. And again, this is the loop that connects Lake City, 𝐟𝐸, and Silverton through this high mountain pass that's just gorgeous. And I can only go so far with my truck, but I tried to get some shots for you guys. And this was one of the prettier parts of the loop that I was able to get on. And I've seen a lot of gorgeous places in Colorado. This is at the very top. I've never seen anything like this, and I barely did the loop. I really did nothing. I went a couple miles before I had to turn around. But just looking around, you can see how amazing this place is. The Alpine Loop crosses 2 major mountain passes, Engineer Pass, which is 12,800 feet, and Cinnamon Pass, which is 12,640 feet. And this high alpine road offers panoramic views of alpine peaks, wildflower meadows, waterfalls, and as you can see, as I'll show you in a little bit, a bunch of mines. Adventure seekers from all over the world come to explore the Alpine Loop by ATV, UTV, and 4x4, and dirt bike, drawn by its challenging trails, dramatic landscapes, and access to remote wilderness areas. Its blend of beauty, thrilling terrain, and old Western history makes it one of Colorado's most iconic off-road destinations. So I'm definitely going to come back here and rent an ATV and try to do the complete loop. I was looking at prices to rent some of these off-roading vehicles, and like anything else in life, It depends. So I saw prices anywhere from like a little over $300 for like 3 hours to well over $1,000 for, 4 to 6 hours. Right here is the Ute-Ulay Henson Mine. This was the main reason why I wanted to actually go on the Alpine Loop. And this was just one of the most amazing ghost towns I've been to in Colorado. And like I say with most ghost towns, they're always in the most remote, rugged, and beautiful places in the state. Between 1874 and 1903, the mine produced an estimated 12 million in silver and lead, worth over 280 million today. It was critical to spurring rapid growth in Lake City. The population surged to 1,000 by 1876 and 2,000 by 1900, and supported hundreds of miners in Henson, including a post office and union activity. The site once boasted a hydroelectric dam on the Henson Creek, flume systems, head frames, a large mill, boarding houses, cabins, blacksmith shops, a water tank, and an assayer's office, all part of the self-contained mining community. A major environmental cleanup in 2009 addressed toxic tailing ponds, restoring the surrounding meadow. Next, we're going to take a tour of a mine, the Tack Mine. This is George Hurd. He runs this mine, and he was nice enough to let me inside for a tour, so I'm going to let him take over.
Silver and little gold.
Right.
And they got back there about 428 feet and ran out of money, and the price of silver had dropped so much they just shut her down about 1911.
1911 they shut it down.
The last workings back there. But
did people come from all over the world to mine here?
no,
It was more local.
Pretty local, There was about 3 or 4 companies at one time tried their luck at it, but they didn't have much luck. Now
Right.
up the Ute, where you went, did you go to the Ute?
Yeah, I went, and that's really cool.
It's the same vein they were trying to get to, the Ute-Ulay and the hidden treasure vein in here, the silver.
Right.
And they just, like I say, everything, the price of silver
Right,
dropped.
yeah.
But it also had the richest silver vein in the Coeur d'Alene mine, in the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢 mining district.
𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐢 Mine District. Okay.
Uh-oh, they got a big one.
All right. Occasionally you watch on the news, out in Cripple Creek, they'll get stuck in the mine. And
Oh, that was a bad one. That inspector just talked to me about that. It was pretty much no fault of the mine or anything. It was a employee's neglect or done something wrong. So
it's consequences.
It happens, everything. Mining was very dangerous.
Yep.
Okay. But the temperature changed from out here yesterday. It was, I think, 82 out
82.
here. And it stays about a constant 48 in here.
That's a good thing about going underground.
Yeah.
Very nice.
We got a few, my wife's collection of carbide lights, and we just give something for the people to look that's waiting on a mine tour. They look at this while they're waiting and
Right.
enjoy it. And there's a pretty good collection there.
It's just hard to imagine how people functioned in the 1900s with like the supplies.
What we wanted here is educational for grown-ups and kids, and we
Right.
got it all in here. I mean, we tell the history about mining and how, like we talked, how dangerous. But I mined pretty much all my life, off and on. I loved it. Once you got it into your blood,
Yeah, that's what they
oh,
say.
you love that mining. nice.
There's something thrilling about just blowing up stuff.
Can you see?
Not really. I can see, the camera can't see.
Oh, well, we'll make it work.
Very cool.
This is our first display. We explained about the 12B mucking machine, and this machine came out probably in 1930s. Before this, it was all hand mucking.
So what exactly is mucking?
Shoveling.
Just shoveling the debris away?
Yeah, or the good ore. He would go in there at the bucket, throw it back in the car there, and then it'd go out to a mill.
Right.
And then from the mill, it went to the smelters, you know. But it's going to be a little dark, so. But
Yeah.
Come here, I'll show you a couple more.
All right.
Are you okay? Can you see?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. But we explain about the drill. This jack leg and drill's the actual setup I used in here to drill these cutouts.
Okay.
Now the tunnel, you know, the tunnel is existing. This is original tunnel that they had when they shut it down in 1911.
Okay.
Boy, I'll tell you this, that machine improved mining over hand sealing.
bet.
Hand sealing. They had
I can't imagine that.
Single jack. We talk about it, just
Get to work.
hit that and turn it. Hit it and turn it.
Right.
So this is probably your typical round in the 1880s or something.
How long would it take to do a round in the
It
1880s?
depended on the ground condition,
Okay.
how hard the rock was. Some of the rock was softer. This is pretty hard. This is like a granite.
Okay.
So it took a lot of hammering to drill a hole like this.
We got a lot of granite here in Colorado.
Yeah, it is.
I've noticed.
Like I say, it's very hard. I'm going to hurry you through it. Let's see. There's one spot I want you to see. Well, here's one. Go look at this. There's our other miner.
Ah, very nice.
This is our gallery, and like I say, it's this
Beautiful.
is my own rock collection that I've collected and
Okay.
traded with different miners over the years, and
So what's one of the most valuable rocks or materials?
right here.
Like how much is that was that worth?
That little sample right there with the gold on it and the way the metrics, it's probably now with the gold prices $2,400 or better. And
$2,400.
then this the same way, that's a gold. That one's probably worth a couple thousand. And then a lot of the crystals in there is worth several thousand.
Several thousand.
Because you don't find it it's hard to find.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got to work to find it. That's really awesome.
there's some nice stuff in there. I mined all this.
You mind that?
That come out of the Champion Mine.
How long ago was that?
Oh,
You mined that out?
probably 35
35 years.
years
Wow.
ago. But I worked in Champion Mine, and that's some valuable stuff too, but they made it the Colorado Crystal, that
Colorado Crystal. Okay.
site. That's the Colorado Crystal.
Very nice.
And these are the old mill ball display here. These were the ball
So,
that they put in the ball mill
okay.
to crush the ore up to a fine powder. When
Okay.
they got done, it was just a graphite like that,
Wow.
with these tumbling all day long. It powdered it up pretty good.
It's amazing.
And this is the old mining town here. This is the hidden treasure, and this was everything you see outside used to be out there like this. This little hole here,
Uh-huh.
can you see it? That's where we're in. That's the
Right there.
Tack Mine. And this is they call it Treasure City.
Treasure City.
This is Treasure City.
So is there no remnants of this?
This is our gift shop here,
Okay.
but you probably don't care about it, but anyway,
Very nice shop.
I did all the drilling and blasting here.
In here?
But the tunnel was existing. That's original tunnel from starting in 1889.
Okay. How long did it take to drill all this out?
Well, back when they were hand stealing, they were only gaining about 2 feet. And sometimes, it'd take more than a day to make a complete round drilling by hand. Nowadays, you got all the air, high pressure drills.
Right.
You can drill sometimes 1 or 2 rounds and advance about 6 to 12 feet in a day. So modern technology and stuff has changed the mining.
Yeah.
But it still don't make it any less dangerous.
Still dangerous, and I feel it's a dying thing. I mean,
Oh,
I was out in Butte like a couple months ago, and I was like, that's like the real mining town there.
which one?
Butte, Montana.
Oh,
I love going out there.
what all, they got all, I've never been.
You never been there? They call it the mining city up in Butte, and there's just the EPA shut it down like they do with most of the mines because it was like the toxicity of the water, and
Well, that's,
it's interesting.
speaking of water, I'll show you here. We got water as all mines do.
Right.
But we got a sump here. But looking in here. Now, you say toxicity. I had to tell you can drink that.
You can drink that?
Yep, that's pure like spring water. And that's
Nice.
all that anything comes out of here is just pure spring water pretty much. So it is a shame. Wow.
Yeah, there's such a large concentration of mines here. I've never seen them all so closely together in one area like this Alpine Loop.
I think that was the big thing. Everybody thought they were going to get rich. One guy hit a little vein, this other prospector
Tells another guy, and then
they start
soon
their digging, hoping they'll get rich. It didn't happen. But
they end up broke or dying.
yes, exactly. An old miner, even probably in the 30s, 45 years old, was old. They were
Yeah.
about on their way out.
Yeah, I'd be dead by now.
So,
Very cool.
on a different piece of equipment, but
He doesn't look so happy.
he's not. He's drilling up all day with his stoper. And that's all it
Oh,
was used for, is drilling straight up, and he's getting the rock
gotta
and
be
the
strong,
water
man.
down
Oh.
his neck. So he's kind of cranky, old Burn, we call him. And I come down here one day, and he didn't have his hard hat on, and a rock had come and got him. So that's why you're supposed to wear a hard hat.
That's an old timer right there.
These are all our ultraviolets.
That's awesome.
They fluoresce under ultraviolet, shortwave, long-wave lights. And we've heard we got one of the best collections in Colorado.
That's all. That's
And
beautiful.
most of this is all kind of mine, come out of the mine or has some relation to mining.
Okay.
And then if you've seen it outside, well, without the, you probably wouldn't
You wouldn't
go
know.
over to pick it up. But
So now we're on Highway 149 going towards the town of Creede. And I think what was really cool about this whole area is like you can have the perfect Colorado day if you wake up early enough. All this footage was really shot in one day. And this is how I ended the day, kind of going to this town of Creede. And this drive on Highway 149 was really amazing. And I've driven on a lot of mountain roads in southwest Colorado, in all parts of Colorado really. And this is something special. Like I never really knew anything about this road, and when you're surprised like this and you don't have any expectations, it's really what living in Colorado is all about. Much of the West is just one big playground. And if you're into exploring and just kind of taking a road out and seeing where it leads, Colorado should be at the top of your list. But this is the town of Creede, another really unique old town. Basically impossible to get an interview here. No one really wanted to talk. And, this is a very isolated town. And what makes it so dramatic, as you can see here, is there's like this tall canyon gulch thing that is in the back. So those towering mountains, they lead, further into rugged alpine country. So this is kind of like the Alpine Loop of Creede. They have something similar called the Bachelor Loop, and that Bachelor Loop is where the Commodore Mine is, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. But this is one of those towns I've just always wanted to go and visit, and I've seen a bunch of other people film it. I really didn't have much time in here. I really spent like maybe 2 hours in the town, so majority of my time spent here was just getting up Bachelor Gulch and trying to film the mine up there. Creede might seem quiet today, but in the late 1800s, this remote canyon thundered with life. It all started with silver. In 1889, Nicholas C. Creede struck silver in the Holy Moses Mine, and everything changed overnight. Word spread fast. By 1890, thousands of miners, gamblers, saloon keepers, and fortune seekers poured into the canyon. The town was officially incorporated in 1892, and in its heyday, Creede boasted over 10,000 residents, nearly all drawn by the silver boom. This wasn't just any mining town. Creede quickly earned a reputation for being wild, even by Wild West standards. Legendary figures like Soapy Smith, a notorious con man and gang leader, ran the streets. Saloons and dance halls lined the main drag, and the town earned the nickname, "There's no night in Creede." Creede's success wasn't just luck. It was home to some of the richest silver deposits in Colorado, with mines like the Amherst, Commodore, and Bachelor producing millions of dollars worth of ore. But like many boom towns, the prosperity didn't last forever. When the Panic of 1893 hit and silver prices collapsed, Creede's population dropped sharply. But unlike many ghost towns, Creede never completely died. Its residents stayed resilient, keeping the spirit of the town alive through mining, tourism, and later on the arts. Today, Creede is a mountain escape with a creative twist. It's home to the Creede Repertory Theater, one of the best professional theater companies in the Rocky Mountains. Visitors come for the scenic drives, the historic mining tours, and the vibrant community that still echoes with the voices of the Old West. So why do people come to Creede? For adventure, for history, for a taste of Colorado's true frontier spirit. So this is the Bachelor Loop in Creede, and this is the Commodore Mine we're approaching right now. First developed in the 1890s during Colorado's silver rush, the Commodore quickly became one of the most productive mines in the area. Its rich silver veins and later valuable deposits of lead and zinc drew thousands of miners, immigrants, and entrepreneurs from across the US and Europe. At its peak, the Commodore was part of a network of mines that helped Creede produce millions of dollars in ore. The mine attracted a diverse group of workers, including Cornish miners, Irish laborers, and European immigrants, all chasing fortune and better opportunity. Life was hard and dangerous, but the promise of silver wealth brought entire communities to these steep mountain slopes. The Commodore Mine was primarily known for high-grade silver, but it also produced significant amounts of lead, zinc, copper, metals vital to the industrial boom of the early 20th century. Today, visitors can explore the Commodore Mine ruins along the Bachelor Loop Scenic Drive, which you're seeing right now, a breathtaking route through Creede's historic mining district. Interpretive signs, stunning views, and remnants of headframes and ore bins give a glimpse into Colorado's gritty and glorious mining past. Thanks for sticking with me this far, guys. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. My aim this summer is to make more in-depth, longer videos that are a little higher quality and that really give you a sense of what some really remote and unique areas of the West are. So thanks again. I appreciate all your support, and there's going to be some cool content coming out this summer. This is what I live for. This is the time of year when I'm busiest, and this is why I moved 1,600 miles from my home.